Hello, grade 11. Since Elia was too busy talking in class with Hadi, he asked me if I can just upload a video to review adjective clauses. Now, before we go on with the adjective clauses, a very quick revision of sentences. Now, we have taken previously that simple sentences are sentences that have one subject and one verb. For example A, the subject is students and the verb is like. And example B, it is Juan and Arturo. Juan and Arturo are the subject. Why are they one subject? Because just replace them with a pronoun. They would be replaced by they. So the sentence would be, they play football. Again, it's one subject and one verb. Alicia goes to the library and studies every day. Again, we have a simple sentence because we have one subject and a compound verb. So it's Alicia doing two things, still a simple sentence. A compound sentence, it's a combination of two simple sentences with two independent subjects and two independent verbs. So I tried, one subject, one verb. My friend tried, one subject, one verb, with a coordinating conjunction in between. In the three examples here, it's and, so, and for. With compound sentences, remember we said previously that we use coordinating conjunctions, the fanboys. Now with the complex sentence, it's one dependent and one independent. For example, with sentence A, when we handed in his homework, he forgot to give the teacher the last page. When he handed in his homework, that's a clause. Why? Because we have he, subject, handed, verb. Now, why is this dependent? Because if I say when he handed in his homework, and we stop here, we know that he did something, but we also see that we need a continuation. The meaning is incomplete by itself. That's why the first part of sentence A, when he handed in his homework, this one, it's dependent. He forgot to give the teacher the last page. It's independent. It can stand alone in the sentence. The same for sentence B, C, D, and E. Now, usually, why I'm saying this, because usually we use adjective clauses in complex sentence. Why? Because an adjective clause is a dependent clause. Now to move on to adjective clauses, as you see, we use adjective clauses in complex sentences. A dependent clause in a complex sentence can be an adjective clause or any other clause. Now, our lesson is adjective clauses. Now, what is an adjective clause or a relative clause? An adjective clause, as you see here, it's a clause beginning with a relative pronoun, who, which, whose, etc. Or a relative adverb, where, when, and why, or a zero relative. Now, the why and the zero relative, you're not responsible for them now. They are to be continued later. So please stick to the ones we took in class, which, that, who, whom, whose, where, and why. Where and when. Now, as we see in example A, the woman whom my mom talked to sells cosmetics. The woman is the subject for sells. The woman sells cosmetics is the independent clause. Again, the woman is the one whom my mom talked to. The woman whom my mom talked to is the object here. That's why we used whom. Now, adjective clauses, as we said, could be defining or non-defining. And the four examples here, the adjective clauses are defining. Why? Because if I remove whom my mom talked to, and I say the woman sells cosmetics, I don't know who is the woman I'm talking about. In sentence B, for example, the book is on the shelf. Without the adjective clause that Jonathan read, I cannot know which book I'm talking about. So the adjective clauses in A and B are giving necessary information. That's why they are called defining or restrictive adjective clauses. The same for sentences C and D. A non-restrictive relative clause, as you see here, is a relative clause that gives extra information. It is non-restrictive. It's in other way parenthetical, which means we can put it, if I put it between parentheses, I can do without it. I can eliminate it. For example, Mr. Smith, who is a well-respected lawyer, has just retired from active practice. If I say Mr. Smith has just retired from active practice, I know who you are talking about. So whether he is a well-respected lawyer or not, this is giving me extra information. That's why it's separated by 2 commas. That's why it's called non-restrictive. The same for Professor James. While with the restrictive, it's giving me necessary information. That's why no commas are used. If I say my brother that lives in Arizona is named Pat, so it's my brother. I don't know which brother lives in Arizona, so I do need the adjective clause that lives in Arizona to know which one of them is called Pat. It's the one who lives in Arizona. So that lives in Arizona is giving me necessary information. Now check out this example that we already mentioned, something similar to in class. My other brother, since I have 2 brothers, and the first I already said he lives in Arizona, so my other brother, it's already specific. Okay? In this case, I should tell you that I have only 2 brothers, one who lives in Arizona, then I'm left with only one, the other brother. That's why the adjective clause here is non-defining. Now, how do I use relative pronouns? I do use who to replace the noun. If the noun is a subject, I mean the function in the sentence, it's the doer of the action or the subject. I and its people, a human being. Now, if it's a thing or an animal or a concept, I use which. Note that we use that, okay, to replace subjects and objects, just in case the adjective clause is a restrictive adjective clause. Now, where is used to show place and when is used to show time. Come in, pay attention, sorry for the Arabic word. Pay attention, where and when. If you don't want to use where and when, I can use a preposition plus which. For example, the restaurant where I had my birthday party was big. That's for place. I can also use, I can also say, sorry, that the restaurant at which I had my birthday party was big. So I can either show place by using where or a preposition plus which. Okay, the same for time. For example, the day when I met him was Wednesday. Okay, I can also say the day on which I met him was Wednesday. Pay attention that prepositions on and at depend according to place or change according to place and time. Okay, if it's a year, it's in. If it's a month, it's in. If it's a date or a day, it's on. If it's a specific time, it is at. Okay, now for sentences with adjective clauses showing quantity, you're not responsible for them right now. Okay, but just leave them for now. We're going back to them so soon. Now here you have an example with each relative pronoun. Okay, and when to use each relative pronoun. I repeat, forget the examples of quantity phrases. I haven't explained them in class. I'll go back to them later. Thank you, and hope this will help you for your test on Thursday.